Welcome to Session 2, Wages, Salaries, and Tips. In this session, you will learn the most common types of taxable income, wages, and salaries, and how to report them. You will learn to differentiate between an employee and a contractor based on the IRS definition. You will understand how tips are reported and why a taxpayer shouldn't ignore them. At the end of the session, you will be able to successfully transfer the various components of the W-2 into their appropriate places on Form 1040. Now, here's Alan Bostrom.
Gross income represents all types of income produced and is typically the first part of the tax return that we will calculate. Most of your tax returns will consist of only one or two types of income. Other, more sophisticated returns may have several. In addition, there are several types of non-taxable income. We will address them in this session. In your book, you will see a quick reference chart that lists forms of taxable income and forms of income that are non-taxable. As you will see, most income is taxable. In fact, the general rule is that all income is taxable unless it's specifically exempted from tax. Let me show you how this works. Imagine that you have a client named Mary who recently received a gift of $1,000 from her grandfather. She asks, is it taxable income? You notice on the chart found in your workbook that gifts and inheritances are not taxable, so you can safely tell her that the gift is exempt from income taxes. Then her husband, Charles, says, "Oh, that's great because I recently found $2,000 in my backyard. I didn't know whose it was, so I just kept it. I've always worried that I would have to report it for income tax purposes. I assume that if gifts aren't taxable, neither is money found." So is he correct? No. Money found is different than a gift, and since it is not specifically exempted, it is considered taxable income for Charles. There are two types of income used more than others. The most common type of income is wages and salaries, which appear on 6 of every 7 returns that you prepare. The second most common is interest income, which will appear on over half the returns. The other forms of income will show up less than half of the time, depending upon the type. We will mention each, but some may be brief, as the likelihood of encountering them is slight.